I rise to support Amendment 247. My noble friend Lady Bennett did support noble Lady Pinnock on this amendment, and also to speak to Amendments 255 and 257. I'm grateful to the Minister for the time she gave to meet with me following committee stage. That was very generous. However, I'm much less grateful about the fact that it is still, what I asked for is still missing from the government's bill. I'd hoped that the discussion might lead to some movement on this issue of environmental interests, but they're still missing from the legal definition of assets of community value. At committee and again at our meeting, the Minister expressed a concern that including environmental assets could turn this scheme into something of a proxy part of the planning system. I want to address that directly because it reflects a complete misunderstanding of what these amendments do. Assets of community value give communities a fair chance to come together and buy a valued asset if it comes up for sale. They're not a backdoor planning system, they do not grant a right to veto development, and they do not override local plans. That's already true for social and economic interests. No one suggests that allowing a community to buy a pub, a shop or a community centre turns this scheme into a proxy for regulating the economy or blocking development. So why is the environment treated differently? This is where the government's position gets very difficult to follow. On the one hand, ministers say that environmental assets, woodlands, allotments, green spaces can already be nominated where they further social or economic well-being. On the other hand, they stop allowing communities to refer explicitly to environmental interests in the same way. I do not think that communities think like, they don't say, we value this woodland only for its social benefit, or we want to retrofit this community building only for economic reasons. In practice, we pursue social, economic and environmental goals together, just as every part of our planning system already recognises. Yet under this, as the bill stands, a community can nominate a woodland but can't actually properly articulate the environmental outcomes that they want to protect or enhance. They could seek to acquire a community centre but not refer to plans to improve energy efficiency or biodiversity as part of their case. That weakens their chance to make a credible case. The government's answer remains that this may be addressed in statutory guidance, but guidance is not law. It can be changed, it carries less weight. And as the committee debate showed, it risks embedding the very confusion we're trying to resolve, confusion between the asset itself and the interests it serves. Finally, I want to return to the broader principle. Everywhere else in policy, planning law, national frameworks, sustainable development, we recognise that social, economic and environmental goals belong together. And this bill, in many respects, seeks to devolve power and trust communities, but in this one area it holds back. Leaving environmental interests out of statute isn't being neutral, it is a signal that they matter less, which does not surprise me coming from this government, in fact, because that's what we've seen again and again on environmental issues. That risks missed opportunities and poorer outcomes for communities. I want to thank my colleagues on the other benches, Baroness Freeman of Steventon and Lord Freyberg, for supporting these two amendments, and I do hope that they're going to say something in support. And I reserve the right to ask the House to vote on this, because quite honestly, it's a principle that I just think the government misses completely. And that as a Green, that distresses me hugely.